Within the pipe by size feature that is part of the 2007 release, there are actually 3 different ways that you can display pipe at once in a given view of a drawing. This is illustrated in this drawing here, where we have our 2-line, our 1-line, followed by our 1-line graphical, which is used by both the 1-inch and the 4-inch. These controls for these thresholds to switch between graphical, 1-line, 1-line graphical, 1-line, and 2-line is controlled by the system definition for the pipe system that's used. So for instance, these pipes are all chilled water supply. You'll see here. So if we go into our style manager, we look at the system itself, you'll see that we have thresholds here. So for all pipes that are 8 inches or less, it's going to display them as just 1 line. And for components that are 4 inches or less, they're going to display them as graphical 1 line. Now the main difference between the two, outside of the appearance of connectors, and of course that can actually be changed afterwards, we'll show you that in a minute, but the main difference is going to be the size that's displayed for inline MV parts. So you'll see here that we've defined a MV part plot length, and I'll illustrate that right here. So you'll see that once we've reached the threshold for graphical 1-line display, which we see in both the 4-inch and the 1-inch pipe, the size of these ball valve symbols are actually scaled according to the size defined in the previous dialog. So in that case it was 1/8 of an inch. So regardless of the scale that's set here, the actual size that's going to be used in graphical is going to be scaled accordingly, so that when you place a viewport with the corresponding scale, the plot length will be 1/8 of an inch. This can be illustrated by changing the scale here. So let's go ahead and change it to a 1/4 scale and regen the model. You'll see that the graphical valve symbols scaled along with the annotations, but both the 1-line and 2-line representations for the MV parts did not scale, and that is because those don't scale. They will always stay their absolute size in the drawing itself, whereas the graphical size will scale accordingly along with this. So if we want to illustrate the change that's going to make with the 4-inch valve, we can go ahead and adjust our threshold in our style manager. We will go in here and let's set this at 3 inches. So you'll see that we've now switched over to 1 line here, yet we've maintained graphical here.